Hi, I'm Mandy Walker, and you're watching My Divorce Pal, the divorce coaching program that helps you make the best decisions for you. This is the Is Divorce Right for Me track, and today we're talking about seeing divorce as an option. I've talked to lots of people who've said their marriage was troubled for years and it took them a long time to even see divorce as a choice. Many people struggle with thinking about ending their marriage because it means breaking their marriage vows. You might be anxious about being the first person in your family to get a divorce. You may think you don't want to disappoint your parents. You're probably concerned about the impact it would have on your children. It could also be that you've never thought divorce would happen to you and you just can't picture yourself as single again. Let me reassure you, that indecision is normal and healthy. Ending your marriage is a weighty decision, and every aspect of your life could change. Where you live, where you work, your social life, your parenting, your vacations, everything. It's not an easy choice, and that's what I want to talk about today. Divorce is an opportunistic event. Yeah, that sounds bad, like taking advantage of a situation for personal gain, but that's not what it means. Rather, it means that you believe that your life will be intrinsically better by ending your marriage. That doesn't mean that every aspect of your life will be better. You may see some parts as better and some parts as worse. But overall, you see divorce as improving the quality of your life. It's important to be realistic about this, so I want you to try this assessment. Don't worry about writing this down. There's a worksheet you can download that will walk you through this. And please don't think that you can just take 5 minutes and voila, know for sure what you want to do. Start by thinking about your relationship with your spouse. How do you see that changing if you were no longer married? This is probably the most significant if you have children together, even if they are adult. But it's also important if you own a business together or work for the same organization. How much interaction will you still have with your spouse? If you do have children, you will still have to interact on an ongoing basis. How do you think this will be most of the time? Hostile? Civil? How will it feel not to be in the same house or the same bedroom together? How will it feel not to be intimate any longer? How will it feel to make decisions by yourself? If you have children, assuming that your parenting time will be shared with your spouse, how do you feel about not seeing your children every day, or perhaps celebrating a holiday without them? Conversely, how do you feel about managing the children on your own, feeding them, getting them ready for school, getting them ready for bed? As you go through your daily routine, try to imagine what it would be like if you were no longer married. What would be different? How would it be different? And do you see that as a positive or a negative? It's not just practical or logistical things like who makes the kids' lunches or household chores, but also the emotional side of things. Maybe it'll mean no more arguments about household chores or money. What about your weekend routine? How will that be different? Now think about your vacations. Perhaps you and your spouse have been visiting the same place each year. Would you still be doing that? Think about the holidays, Thanksgiving, and any religious holidays that you observe. How might those change? What about your finances? Will you be able to support yourself financially if you aren't married? How do you feel about managing your finances? Your lifestyle may also change. It may mean a return to work if you're a stay-at-home parent. If you work part-time, will you need to go to work full-time? What about the marital home? Would you want to stay there or move? How do you feel about living alone? How will your social life be different? Do you think your friendships will change? What about your relationship with your in-laws or your spouse's relationship with your family? How will that be different? Now that's a lot to think about, and there isn't a right or wrong answer. You'll probably have a mixture of good and bad responses. You may even have some areas of unknowns. For these areas, it helps to seek some professional advice. For example, if you're not sure how often your children would be with you, You can consult with a family law attorney to find out what you could expect. An attorney would also be able to help you with guidelines for spousal support, what you might expect to receive or what you could expect to pay. If you don't know about where you could be living or what your home might be like, talk to your realtor about the housing market in your area. If you have all good responses, I want to ask you if you're being realistic about your life after divorce. For example, if you and your spouse today have different approaches to disciplining your children, then that's not likely to change after divorce and could become more pronounced. Talk to other divorced people, a divorce coach or a therapist for a reality check there. Those areas where you feel that your life would be worse are the areas you want to explore more. What could you do to lessen your fear about that aspect? Sometimes fear comes from a lack of information. So for example, if you're worried about not being able to support yourself financially, I would ask if you have a budget, and then I would get you to review both your income and your expenses. What's the real picture? If you're worried about seeing your kids every day, I would start a conversation about what your parenting plan might look like and options you may have for more frequent interaction. Once you start gathering more information and talking to experts about your concerns, your responses may change, and you may see ending your marriage as more of an option than it was previously. Or you might not, and that's okay too. As I said earlier, deciding to end your marriage is not a quick or easy decision, and it certainly doesn't have to be rushed. And remember, finding out more information, doing your research doesn't commit you to a divorce. Take your time and make sure you're making the right decision for you. Thank you for watching My Divorce Pal. I'm Mandy Walker, wishing you strength and courage. I'll see you next time.